Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to another night of action here at the ESL ESEA Pro League for North America. We have got 4 matches lined up for you once again this evening. My name is Blue. Joining me once again is the usual color commentator by my side, which is going to be Moses. How you doing tonight, man?
Wonderful. Really well. Excited for this Cloud9 doubleheader tonight.
Indeed, and it's going to start off right now here with Cloud9 versus Follow eSports. So far, interestingly enough, the only team that's been able to beat Cloud9 in a bit of an interesting matchup that happened a couple weeks back, and they're also going to have another rematch tonight that is going to be versus Liquid. They already beat them once, but Liquid's going to have another chance for revenge tonight once again over on Inferno this time.
Yeah, and that's the big thing too, is Cloud9 is kind of up there in the standings, so these matches, they're in the top 4, but Complexity is right above them, so winning these ones out, winning this would put them up to 8-1. Complexity's still going to drop down these standings. I don't know if anyone is looking at them tonight at all whatsoever. Complexity is at 8-7, Cloud9's at 7-1, Liquid's at 8-2. So I mean, they have 5+ more games played than the people around them, so they're going to keep dropping. But yeah, this is a little bit of a revenge match for Cloud9 right now, because Follow eSports handed them their only loss of the season so far, and I believe that was on this map.
So with us returning
nope,
to it,
was on,
I think it was on Inferno, wasn't it?
Oh, okay,
Mirage. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. So we're going to be going over to Cobblestone this time, and I was actually about to talk about that. Thankfully, it's not the same map, because now we can bring in some different dynamics. But now it's going to be on this map, and of course, Mirage, an interesting map. We saw definitely some big weaknesses harking back to that match on Mirage itself, but now going over here on a Cobblestone for a team that's still fairly new to the Pro League division like Follow eSports. I think this is going to be a much harder map for them to perform as well on, just because of the dynamics that come into play and the fact that this is a map that normally for a lot of teams ends up being sort of one of the last ones they look at, and because it's not very well established, it's very hard to sort of bring in strats from other teams, since each team really has its own signature on this map.
Yeah, the big thing on this map, well, first of all, Follow eSports, like, all their success recently has come from Wabbit topping. He's just been an absolute animal. They brought in Desi. He's been doing pretty well for him, but really all the impact kills are coming from the AWP of Wabbit. And he had another stellar night last night on Mirage against CLG, where they just got beat up in the first half. They went down like 14-1, and they made a comeback and lost 14-16. But it was off Elsa having an auto sniper. It was off Wabbit having the AWP. So, I mean, he's got to play really, really well tonight if they want a shot at making an upset here.
We also saw, too, in the other match they had the other day, I believe that was versus Complexity. I casted the one on Saturday, specifically going to look at that one again. Desi was a very big player when we take a look at that matchup. Unfortunately, wasn't able to shine as brightly on Sunday's match, and that, I think, harked to a pretty big reason as to why they ended up losing that one, but at least in the Saturday one, we saw him, specifically on the T side as an entry fragger, was doing an absolutely fantastic job, and even jumping back over onto the CT side, too, having a tremendous impact on whatever side he would have been, and the communication seemed pretty on point for Follow eSports. So him, combined with Wabbit, we could see both of those guys shine, and the rest of the team coming out strong too. Again, the roster could still look pretty good heading into tonight, and as well with Cloud9 already getting beat by this team once, we may just have another opportunity for them to do it a second time. But we are live into the knife round, folks, so let's take a look.
Yeah, and part of that too, like Cloud9 played against WinterFox last night, and they actually got their butt kicked on their CT side, I believe it was. WinterFox got like 9 or 10 rounds on their Terra side, and Cloud9 just looked all out of sorts. The big thing here too is Skadoodle, the opera for Cloud9 that we all know and love. I mean, he's number 4 in total up kills in North American Pro League, and it's Wabbit who's actually second. So Wabbit's actually beating him out, just to build on that point that Wabbit's just been a huge player so far. So Cloud9 got a really, really slow start, and I'm not sure they'd be able to survive another one against this team.
And we are going to go live into it now, folks, with things getting going. It's going to be Follow eSports starting off their way over here onto the CT side. And as for Cloud9, they're going to jump onto the T side here on Cobblestone for our first match this evening. Let's get right to it, as Cloud9 will lead us off, and we'll take a look at the buys coming out from these players. We are live now. Not too aggressive as of yet, but the dualies coming out there from Shroud along with the smoke buy. We'll see how that pans out. Sean Garris goes to the support buy with a couple nades in play, and as for the rest of the team, pretty held back for the most part. Going to be 4 Glocks in play, and the other 3 players picking up armor. And then the response from Follow eSports, they've got the kid, of course, 3 players also with armor on that squad, and then Hades goes for a 5-7 and HE grenade buy, but the counter boost already alive from Hades. Going to look for the shot into Freakazoid, but he responds with his own headshot. That's going to shut down Hades and open up a potential push point over here towards drop.
Yeah, Cloud9 on this map has always liked to get a little bit aggressive towards drop, and that time Oh, look at that duel between Desi. Sean can't find that kill. Desi takes him out, but Desi's brought very low. But yeah, Hades wanted to get boosted up to kind of stop that, get a little bit jump on that aggression, and he gets dropped by Freakazoid. And there's Wabbit with a nice shot playing in the chicken coop. He's a chance for a second one here, and very calmly taps away on a Skadoodle. But Shroud and those dualies coming into effect, and he gets 3 straight before getting traded off by Desi, now into a one-on-one.
And Freakazoid has a pretty big health advantage in this one too, but unfortunately not being fully aware of this yet. He still has to go back and to retrieve this bomb as well. So going to take his time with this, but thankfully with plenty of time left on the clock, Desi's going to be the same story with him just hanging back, looking out, making sure that there isn't going to be an aggressive push inside a drop to hopefully catch him off guard and just go directly for the frag instead of working the plant. It looks like Freakazoid, though, just wants to play it out here as he creeps out to the site. Might find himself in a duel with Desi in a second. He's trained on the right position, but with that time getting lower, and I'm realizing now that Desi isn't really going to contest this initially. He's going to be forced into planning this, and now the timer gets started, and looks like he's kind of going to trap himself here, too. He has time to move out, but he's going to be very cautious with that for obvious reasons here. But the pop comes out, and again, Freakazoid is just going to close it out with a single shot on a Desi that takes him down, and Cloud9 pick up the pistol.
Yeah, Shroud wins that round for him, though, with those dualies, grabbing 3 kills in the mid-round. Wabbit had done a great job. Desi even finding a kill, so it was a very scary spot. And Shroud, as he's been doing basically this whole season, and for a long time on this roster, he's just been a beast. So he carries them right back into the round, and Freakazoid's able to clean it up. So 1-0 for Cloud9. Follow Esports almost able to grab that. We're going to see a little bit of a buy, some armor, some deagles, some 5-7s bought up on the Follow Esports side.
And for Cloud9's push, they're going to stick with a little bit more of a change up this time, as there was that aggression from Follow Esports that came up from Desi that netted them a kill. Just in case he tries to do it for a second time in a row, they put a little bit more of the pressure over here, still keeping one player alive in the Hollow stage. They do a counter boost in an attempt to counter that out, but they don't actually see there on the steps. There's going to be one player that tries to pick them up. Thankfully, nothing will respond quickly enough to that one and take him down. And now Freakazoid rolling up spots more. They're trying to come through the doors, but he's going to hit him through the crawl space, finds one, shutting down Desi, and more here from Follow Esports. Unfortunately, already shut out of the site. Not a whole lot they can do. Ocean, though, rolls in, picks up a nice kill on a Freak. And they may yet have a chance, but unfortunately not looking too good. And the rest of the team is basically just going to hold that in. Even a player coming in through drop. Hades, though, handles that very nicely. Takes down Sean Garris. They're getting some good damage into here, but it looks like the rest of them are thankfully going to get shut down pretty quickly. And the last one alive will be Hades inside the door, which that will get executed by nothing as well.
Yeah, just a smackdown. They kill Wabbit in mid, and Cloud9 just very, very decisive on their take up the mid ramp and into that A bomb site. So nicely done from them. And that's something we've seen out of them on Cobble. They're very quick to attack bomb sites, whether it's streaming down drop, whether it's coming up into A bomb site, whether it's hitting B. I mean, once that first kill comes out, they're on this map especially compared to other ones, they find their way into the bomb sites very, very quickly.
Follow Esports once again now. We're going to have to try and resist this, and they just go for a big 5-man stack towards the A site. The big risk on this one, but won't be paying off at all for Cloud9. They're just going to waltz their way right here into the B bomb site, basically getting it for free, too. Ocean's trying to rotate, but he's going to be a little bit too late, in my opinion. Won't be able to really get in here to contest, and the rest of the team wouldn't have really been able to do too much this round either here. So, unfortunately, that just doesn't pay off. Desi sneaks through with at least 1 kill, but they're already on the site, already secure, and again, it just should just be an easy mop-up at this point for Cloud9 to find a 3rd point.
Yeah, Shroud's farming right now with that Mac 10. He's got 2, he's got a 3rd as well, so huge money in the bank for him. Quickly just down towards Desi and Elsa. And Elsa's going to flank. He's going to try and get behind him and find a kill, but nothing's watching that. And Desi with 14 HP, he's just conceded everything, trying to see if he can get one sneaky kill, but he's got to hit a couple headshots. Shroud's not content, and he gets dinked up, but he wants to go for more, pulls out the deagle. Having a little bit of a deathmatch here.
Desi trying to creep out against him. He finds the headshot to take down Shroud at the very least, but Freak 2 wants to re-challenge this one. Looking for the peek from the APC. He's not going to find it, so he re-seekers from Shed, and he actually picks up an additional kill into nothing here, too. Going to pop out. He almost is able to find Freak. His life brings it down to 2 HP, so Desi goes a little bit ham there, but at the end of the day, does end up getting executed, and Cloud9 will take him down. So no saves at all for Follow Esports. Not that he would have really been saving all that much anyway, but he didn't pick anything up, so still just wanted to take him down, and Cloud9 took a couple extra losses that, to be honest, didn't really need to happen.
Yeah, well, Desi's been pretty strong, especially, I mean, he's number 3 in AK frags for the entire league, so he's been having a pretty solid season so far, now that he's been stable out of this roster. But this is what we're talking about with Cloud9. Look at how aggressively they're just going to run through this smoke, pop flash themselves, and they're going to come up this A ramp, and they don't want to slow down whatsoever. They find the head, they get traded off by Wabbit. He's got to stay alive behind this flower pot, but he cannot dodge every single bullet that comes his way. They're even going to beat the rotations into the site, so Cloud9 already pressuring for a plant at the A site. There's Desi fighting through fire, but still falls down.
The pressure came in way too quickly now, so unfortunately for the rest of the players from Follow Esports, not a whole lot they can do. Elza's going to camp inside of the hall here, going up towards the balcony in case a player tries to work their way through crawl space and catch them out. But not beyond this, of course, we won't really be seeing too much else from Follow Esports. And for Cloud9, that pure raw aggression coming through the mid-connector ends up working out great. And for Wabbit there, could have definitely did a little bit more, but the positioning for him was just not the best. He was caught there and had nowhere to retreat, obviously, so he could shut down pretty easily. And we'll see Cloud9 just basically walk right into the site, and they pick up the round off of the hands of that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Follow Esports just was not prepared for how fast that came. So Wabbit, I mean, he couldn't even fall back. There's so much open space behind him that even if he runs, if Cloud9 spots him bailing out, they're just going to come up that ramp, and he has nowhere to hide after that. So his only real choice was to go for more kills. But they just were not prepared for that kind of aggression. They got caught on that ramp sleeping a little bit.
Now we look at the buy from Follow Esports heading into the 5th round. After the gun round, of course, not really going to see a whole lot from them. Hades thankfully saving that M4, so at the very least they're going to roll in with this one, but actually seeing a little bit of a force up there from Els too, as he's going to go for the purchase of the Mag 7, probably positioning himself in a drop. And Desi at the very least, or apologies, yeah, Mag 7 in there. For Desi at least, he's going to go for a 5-7 buy up there, and I'll see what he can work with that.
Yeah, Els has this Mag 7 over towards drop, but it's just Sean over at the B bomb site waiting for anyone to push forward, and he actually misses his shot. Hades going to get a nice kill. And Follow Esports doesn't realize this quite yet, but Sean was the only one there, so they could recover that AWP, but still, streaming into this A bomb site very quickly. They found Wabbit, who's got no armor, just a P250. He's got some work to do, and he's going to try and do it by just being sneaky around this APC, and he is going to find one. That Shroud looking the wrong way. Even does some damage on a Freak, but there's nothing to clean him out. Now this bomb's got to get planted, but all the counter terrorists are over here. Hades with the 2nd kill in the round.
Hades picking that up now, still having a little bit of trouble working their way into the site, but at the same time for Cloud9, they as well can't even get that plant going for themselves as of yet, and now Desi coming out through the mid-connector is going to open up another opportunity for themselves to rework this back in, but the plant will come out from Cloud9. Freakazoid taking a little bit of heat back over here from the balcony, has some shots come off over towards him. Ocean going to repeat guy to check it, but now they're out, and Hades again finding another one, but Freakazoid almost with the double spray down, picks up one into Hades, but Els popping in there with the Mag 7, shuts him down, and thankfully they're going to be able to hold things off there, so the defuse is going to come in from Follow Esports, and they clutch it out on an eco round.
Yeah, Hades with big 3 kills, opening up onto Sean and then rotating over to save the day. But Wabbit with that 1 kill, that was so crucial because Cloud9 couldn't keep their members spread out. They had to reorganize into that A bomb site just to get the plant down and try and win the post plant. That allows Desi to come in for a flank as well. So just great play by Follow Esports. I mean, Wabbit was the only one at that A bomb site, and crucially now they've salvaged a free AWP that gives them a free double up setup. So, I mean, they're winning the economy game right now. Skedoodle can't even, actually, yes, he can buy one of his own, and he does pick that up. So, he's going to have some duels to make this round.
Skedoodle thankfully been working, I believe, with the AK. I don't think he actually bought it. I don't think he bought it the op as of yet. So this is the first time he's going to be picking it up, and good thing too, because now they need it. And there we go, already doing some work with it. Shuts down Wabbit right from the get-go. He's going to get dropped. Hades still armed with his own op, of course, and now they're going to start to rotate their players, because thankfully this push from Wabbit at least gets a whole lot of intel. He knows a lot of these players are going to focus themselves over towards long A, so they can try to get a bit more of a powerful weapon here, in case that still remains the plan from Cloud9, which, again, there should be no reason why they wouldn't do it, except for the intel being found out, so they're still going to push towards it. Taking up some presence in the mid-con as well, and just lining up for the usual take that we would expect now.
Yeah, and Follow Esports, they're very respectful of drop. There's Skedoodle with a 2nd pick onto Hades. That isolates Ocean. He's the only one there. Now the rotates have to come in. That spreads the D out just a little bit more. Desi staying at the B bomb site. 2 members over towards A, but Cloud9, they've slowed everything down despite getting their 2 picks.
And as they roll right in here, all the pressure is going to fall into Ocean for the time being. Els is up, but sitting up over here on the balcony to help, but Freak is one with the 1-tap, shuts it down onto Els. They're going to walk up onto the site. Ocean finds one, tries to fall back, but Shroud's going to be able to manage that. He takes down Ocean, and now, unfortunately, just going to be Desi again here for Follow Esports. Still stuck on that B side in case the flank would have ended up coming out. Doesn't end up panning out for himself, but now he's stuck here with nothing else to do, and is going to have to try and save that M4.
Yeah, sick round from Cloud9. I mean, Skedoodle obviously with that op getting 2 kills, but just finding those picks. And Follow Esports tried to play a more centralized defense so they could have some quick rotations to either bomb site, no matter what eventually came out of Cloud9, but they just lost players with no ability to respond. Playing so passive after that first kill came out, that just gave Skedoodle so much pace with that op to get those picks at long range, and because of that, there's no trades available to Follow Esports, so it's going to be 5-1 now for Cloud9. They are going to reset the losing bonus, but it should be another force buy, I would imagine, out of Follow Esports, because they have 3 members who can currently buy up, and Desi's going to be able to save this weapon as well. So they should have 1 more buy in them right now.
Desi, though, going to get a little bit close to nothing before the round ends, but thankfully won't end up seeing anything, and that looks like exactly what we're going to have going into this one now. As you mentioned before, 3 players from Follow Esports still to go position to rebuy up their rifles, and op, actually, Glass Cannon op is going to come out there from Wabbit, and again, Ocean goes for a 2nd Mag 7 buy at this time, so technically a fully bought, but Wabbit taking a bit of a risk here. It'll be interesting to see the position he plays, because 1 shot to him, and that's going to really mess up his aim, and he'll be a dead man, essentially. Thankfully, he won't see any of the heat early on, as Cloud9 just go back to the default B take, and probably just going to take it nice and quick to a smoke smoke comes back out, so they don't initially push into there. They slow things down back over here on the catwalk approach, as Els gets an opportunity to push up to the broken wall to challenge that a little bit, but he's going to get hit by a nade right to the face, so unfortunately he has to fall back, because he's now dropped to 37 HP, and now the rest of the take can come out. But Follow eSports, they're aware of this. Unfortunately, not really going to directly challenge anything over here on the platform as they work their way out to it. Desi's trying to rotate himself into a position now, but they are funneling their way out slowly, and Desi going to pot one head there. He's going to be able to shut down Freakazoid. Still careful of drop it before Cloud9 have been avoiding it, but now there's Sean Garris popping out. He finds one. Hades with the response to the drop thrower. He's going to be able to take down nothing, and Shroud there too. With a little bit of damage assistance from Desi takes down Els, and Sean Garris still picking up players from the platform there, shuts down Hades. Wabbit's now rotated in though, and he's got the op in play, but as does Skadoodle, and it's just going to be Wabbit. No armor left. Sean Garris though sitting at just 1 HP, but as he creeps his way in, unfortunately for him, gets shut down very quickly by Skadoodle. But had he have found that shot, that round could have gone a completely different direction.
Yeah, big mistake on the defenders over at that B bomb site. Both of the Follow eSports member were just spamming that smoke at the connector over towards that B platform. And because that, once they reloaded, it just allows Cloud9 to stream out wide onto the platform, grab the angle, and they have the AWP on Skadoodle. They have so many dangerous weapons, and once they grab that, it's just so hard to stop. So just mismanagement of the ammunition that gives Cloud9 the opening they need, and they take it.
So Cloud9 again, going to flip things up a little bit here, but they're going to have to watch out because this aggressive pushback over here, this aggressive hold as it'll end up being from Follow eSports, may end up getting in their face. Hades is in a little bit more of a secure position, but Wabbit's going to be way out in the open. They shut him down, a flash comes out, and manages to hit one of them, but Freakazoid takes a little bit to spot Hades there, but they do take him down. And unfortunately for this round, it's looking like a walkover from Cloud9. None of those defensive positions really managed to do much there from Follow eSports, and again, it'll be down to one single player, Desi, sitting just in the B site at this point, not with a whole lot left he can do as he's only got that deagle.
I mean, yeah, we've seen a lot of this recently where Desi just feels a little bit left alone in this matchup. So Cloud9 having their way over at that A bomb site, really only losing that one eco round. That just doesn't leave a lot for Desi to do at the moment. So Cloud9's going to get their 7th round. Freakazoid's on top at 10-4. And he's just been pure aggression, just going for these entries. But there's nothing charging through the doors. He gets dropped with a nice headshot. Shroud does clean off Desi eventually. So they survive with 4 members. But now we're going to see another buy come out. Desi, he snap buys up. Wabbit's going to have another AWP, and Desi actually could have bought that op so that Wabbit could have got some armor and dropped an M4 over towards Desi, but it doesn't quite work out like that.
Wabbit still has armor, though.
That might have been exactly what they did.
Yeah, it looks like this is what ended up happening, because Wabbit still has a full armor buy up and everything, So they're going to be able to afford that, and again, it's a very competent buy from Follow eSports, but the defenses for the most part have been weak. Cloud9, based on my observations, haven't really been doing anything super duper innovative. It's just been some small mistakes in the holds there, and they've been getting knocked out, but they try to get aggressive. Wabbit, though, going to miss that opening opportunity, and now he falls back here, and Shroud, unfortunately, is a little bit too quick from him. He's going to be able to catch Wabbit before he can get himself behind the statue into a safe spot, but just below, expecting him to. Shroud jumps down. He's going to find Els, takes down Hades in addition to this one, and Shroud's just clearing him out, following some resistance for motion, but he's caught by Shroud on the reload, denies the ace there as Desi picks finally a stopping kill, but Freakazoid also swiftly comes through the smoke to clean him up.
Yeah, and this is just Cloud9 just no respecting. You're exactly right. They're not doing anything fancy. They're not doing anything strategical or tactical. They're just hitting these bomb sites, and they're just using their skill. They're winning the entry duels, and from there it's just a collapse. So Follow eSports, they need to be able to stop this initial aggression because Cloud9's just running a death squad around the map and getting whatever they want, just bodying Follow eSports out of their positions.
So now, again, from Follow eSports, we're going to be back onto an eco round, and there won't be a whole lot, so like many of the eco rounds past it from Follow eSports, not expecting too much resistance. Els will put himself into a position behind Broken Wall, but he's already been flashed, gets some damage off, but still not enough in order to find a kill, and Freakazoid will be able to make it out of this one. Ocean will be sitting behind the statue there too, and Sean Garris will find an easy kill out of this one, finds another one and drop, and again, they're just basically walking over the site at this point. Hades will be the final player, again with this deagle. It's not going to be Desi this time, granted, but still a player, one left alive with a deagle, and it's sort of off-put positions here. We'll be waiting for some aggression to come up from Cloud9, so we might be able to sneak through with a kill or two, but with the money that Cloud9 are working with, again, for some of the players it's not so strong, but for the most part here, we're at the very least at a point where they can make it through 1 to 2 buys, at least on each player, and that overall one kill wouldn't have really impacted them too much. They absolutely have to start winning out rounds, or they're going to get too far behind here in this half.
Yeah, they might already be too far behind, but this is really their last shot at getting back into it, because this is the setup that they used last night in Mirage to come back on CLG when they were down 1-14. Elsa's got that auto sniper. He was raining death all last night with it. Wabbit's back on his AWP, which, I mean, we talked about how good he's been this season, but Skadoodle's been destroying him in this matchup. So we're going to see a little bit of a different defensive setup. Wabbit with the op over towards mid, but 4 members towards that B bomb site, really respecting the early aggression. That's where Elsa's bringing the auto sniper as well. So he's got to do some damage, and Shroud's the one who's going to come out on this platform, and he might not be expecting this auto sniper. This is going to be really dangerous for Shroud.
He's putting himself there down below drop 2. I'm waiting for that push to come up from Freakazoid and nothing. The molly comes in there first, and again, keep in mind, a lot of that attention has been drawn out, so yep, there's going to be Shroud. He pops out, just shuts down Els. And all of that danger is just gone by the wayside now. As the rest of the players, they get coming from drop. Desi gets a nice response on a Shroud at the very least, so they find a trade. But now they're going to be rolling in from drop. It's a good setup for Follow eSports, but can they perform? Hades picks up 2 on a Freakazoid and Sean Garrett, traded out by nothing, but now Desi rolls right in. He's also going to shut down nothing, and now it's on Skadoodle in a 1-on-2. Trying to creep forward to find the trade kill on Desi, but he can't grab it. And Desi coming in for the closeout. Follow eSports do finally manage to come through with another round.
Yeah, they lost the auto sniper though, and that was the thing. Shroud he gets caught off guard. He takes that first bullet, but he swings over and grabs the headshot anyways. He didn't even care that he got tagged up, so he gets traded off. The drop play doesn't work. Nicely done from Hades to hold that strong, but they lose 3 members and they also lose the auto sniper, which is actually huge. I mean, if it's anyone but Shroud up there, Wabbit probably wins that fight. So that could have been a big weapon moving forward, but they're not able to salvage it because it's just so far away. And Cloud9, all 5 members coming over towards this B bomb site. Looks like it's going to be very, very fast. 4 members of Follow eSports are here, though.
Hades is going to be in a bit of an exposed position, sitting up on top of the boost spot behind the tree. Can't spot Shroud, though, as he initially pops out, so he's going to find a free kill on the Desi. Not looking for that trade just yet, and he's just mowing through them. Now Hades drops down. He's picking up 1 in a Freakazoid. This is some good patience, but it's a big risk. And now that smoke wall comes in, too, so Follow eSports, they've got to respect them a little more. They've got to hold back for a couple extra seconds, but no! Promotion, he just rolls right through. Shroud finds the response, survives that encounter with just 2 HP, and more from Follow eSports. They're going to push through now. Hades comes through the smoke. He picks up a kill, but Skadoodle still sitting up on the platform there is going to find the trade kill very quickly. Down to Wabbit at this point, and again, stuck in a crossfire, so it's going to be very hard to clutch this off as he pushes forward. He's going to go for the defuse there, but there we go. He gets the response on a Skadoodle, and now Sean Garris, does he realize it's being defused? He doesn't, but the shot from Wabbit there, he's going to take it down, but now the question is, does he have enough time to defuse this bomb? It's going to be very close, but he grabs it, and the clutch comes out from Wabbit, and Follow eSports, they keep strong and come through with a second round.
Yeah, what a miracle round from Wabbit there. That Molotov was just barely missing him, down to 2 HP, and it was just a couple inches away, not dealing the damage, but almost an impossible 1-on-2 for him to win, but he hit some beautiful shots to do it. Really, really well done from Wabbit. But you got to say, that defense over at that B bomb site, 4 members there initially, 3 guarding over the statue and 1 just watching drop, but they let Shroud get out with no damage taken, and he gets 2 entries, so really amazing they're even able to come back in that round, much less win it based off those heroics. But still, the economy is low. Doesn't matter when Wabbit gives you a 5-on-4 advantage.
So Wabbit again starts things off in the 13th round by picking up an additional kill, quickly finding a headshot though. It was going to be Freakazoid out from the mid-con, and now the rest of the team moves in. The rotation's going to be quick, but they're still keeping Hades behind, so there'll be a man down in this encounter. L just walks right out into Shroud's face, but again, another trade will be found, but now they've got to get Hades into this site, and unfortunately, Freakazoid finds a kill. Ocean popping up, he drops the bomb. That's going to be a kill on the Freakazoid, looking for another one on the Skadoodle, and he's almost going to find it, bringing him down to 9 HP, but he too also gets hit with a pretty big nade. Hades will find the entry from the doors though, and thankfully Ocean, still alive and well, comes up to the broken wall on A site and shuts down Skadoodle for a swift cleanup there from Follow eSports. Still some heavy damage coming in. He's going to save the op at the very least, but this is not good for their economy, and you can even see evidence of it now as Els. He can't even get a rifle. He just goes back down to a Mag 7 once again.
Yeah, they are hanging on by a thread. Last 2 rounds, each one with just 1 surviving player. The third one that they won in a row was 2 surviving players, but that time they get up, and you see Els, I mean, this is the coordination of that hit. The Molotovs that come out, they string into right in front of the choke point, so when the rotations do come in and Follow eSports players want to try and cross into the bomb site, as soon as they jump out, they're in cover, but they're standing in Molotovs, so they have to move into the open. That's what allows Cloud9 to find these picks, but some great mid-round plays, some great retake plays early on from Follow eSports players are keeping him in it.
And Shroud again, trying to look for a headshot or 2 to start it off. He's spotted Ocean going over to the corner, but I don't know if he knows Els is here yet, so he's not going to be expecting this boost. Thankfully, again, spots the head before they get an opportunity to shoot at him, but there will be a trade that comes out from Ocean. Thankfully, it's just him overexposed at this point, so no other intel has been found, and Freakazoid, he gets into a little bit of a battle with Desi over there through the mid-connector. He wins it out, takes him down, and now Cloud9 have both sites open as an option. Once again, Follow eSports, unfortunately, have absolutely no clue where this is going to come from. So Cloud9, they're going to throw the kicker and now work to rotate over here to the B site to actually push things in, mainly from drop, as it looks like now from Nothing's position.
Yeah, he does get down here, and he's got the cover of smoke, so he can turn this into a huge lurk play. Ocean's watching for it, but the rest of the Cloud9 team is streaming back towards this B bomb site. And Ocean, if he guesses wrong, if he looks in the wrong direction at the wrong time, he's going to get eliminated. And this is where Nothing chooses to get aggressive. Ocean's going to win it anyways. A nice spin around fight, but there's Skadoodle, grabs the angle, eliminates him off the map. Hades is left. He's over at the rock. He's taking a long range duel, but he gets smoked out as well. And Wabbit hasn't quite got here with his off to bail him out. and Freakazoid's just gonna, take that battle and win it. And there's Wabbit finally getting in on the round, but he's in another 1-on-2. Sean and Skadoodle, and Skadoodle's not even gonna let him get close to the bomb.
Finally shutting it down now, and again, the misinformation there from Follow Esports unfortunately being a big factor. We saw some big plays on them trying to get aggressive. It works out at the beginning over on the B-bomb site, but back over there in the mid-connector doesn't go so well, so they get the kill. Follow Esports, though, with that player that finds the kill over on Broken Wall platform, doesn't actually push forward to get any other additional intel, so they still have no clue where that push goes. They have to split up the remaining 3 players, and it just leaves the defense far too weak when Cloud9 goes for the push into the B site. So they're now going to find a 10th round. They kill that streak from Follow Esports, and as we already talked about, because Follow Esports had won all 3 of those rounds with just a single player left alive, with the exception of round 11, excuse me, they had 2 players alive there, but because they just barely win out all those rounds, they're immediately going to get put onto another eco round. Hades, though, starts it off strong here for Follow Esports. He picks up a headshot and nothing there as they try to push for drop, and that's going to be a good opener to try and build upon this next round.
Yeah, Shroud and Freakazoid working together to be really aggressive down towards Broken Wall. Shroud's going to be the one that leads the way. He hasn't found anyone quite yet. Those Deagles are playing far back. There it is. Sean finds one. Shroud as well aggressively takes the site. Just Ocean with the shotgun. He can't do anything. He's in drop. That's too far a range to utilize that shotgun. This is pretty much all over for Follow Esports now, even with some team damage coming in.
Yep, Ocean's going to roll out here. They haven't actually spotted him yet, but there's Skadoodle now. He picks him up. He's only going to connect a little bit of damage there on the opening, but Sean Garris takes down Desi. Wabbit's still kind of on the way. He's gotten himself into the site, but as Ocean tries to dry push in there, he gets taken out pretty quickly. Wabbit actually sneaks through with one more kill into Sean before it ends, but that doesn't even matter because we're on the last round anyway. So it'll be 11-4 as we switch sides, and Cloud9 again with a very, very big lead here for T-side Cobble.
Yeah, that was really nice from Cloud9. I mean, we mentioned a couple times, nothing tactical going on. Cloud9 just bullying their way into bomb sites. So, just pretty standard stuff out of them, just outskilling Follow Esports. And you could saw a couple of those rounds, those 3 rounds were all won by clutches from Follow Esports, and a lot of it was just Wabbit. That 1-on-2 was just stellar. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was an incredible play, but again, kind of got to look at the issues once more. They pick up those couple rounds, but as you said, it's all from clutches, the communications and whatnot that came up from Follow Esports. The rotations were weak. There were symptoms where we saw players, I think it was either Desi or Hades, that, for instance, in that one round where they got that boost up towards the tree spot, and then we just saw Shroud pushing directly through him anyway, and he picks up 3 more kills because he doesn't want to take the peek down there and try to kill him, things like that, where they're just not really playing the team game, just trying to look for those kills initially and hoping they can find trades later on. It's not going to pan out well if they can't correct that here going into the second half, but at least for Desi, he opens his up strong, gets a dink on a Shroud over, get down to 15 HP, and finishes him off, too. That's some good aim concentration coming out there from Desi. So at the very least, they're going to find an opener, but now the rest of the team has to decide, do they want to push into this? And Cloud9 as well, are they going to actually rotate all their assets into this? But they just go for a default split for the time being. They're going to keep 2 here. One will be a floater between the 2 sites, but they actually have drawn a 3rd in. That's going to be nothing that rotates back over from the A site, as the rest of the team is going to try to throw a fake. And Desi finds a second one on Skadoodle as well, so just on his lonesome here, he's slowly eliminating everybody from Cloud9.
Yeah, now he's pushing into the site. He's going to get close up. He does eventually get taken, but he's done the damage. Freak, he's got to be very aware. He's got to try and spot this push. It's not going to happen, though. They're going to get all the way up this ramp probably before he sees him, and now he's got to fall back. Nice headshot. Oh, Freakazoid, he stays alive somehow, gets 2. That saves the round for Cloud9. He does eventually fall to Elsa, but the rotation is on towards the safe site. Meanwhile, the bomb works its way over towards B. So this is almost a bit of a double fake here from Follow Esports, and Sean, he's got to be careful. He's got one right around the corner in this doorway. They might think this is A, but they're going to have to go back towards the B site. Sean finds one, and now the call is on. Nothing knows it's not A, so they're on their way.
Wabbit here, a lot of emphasis being put upon him and his ability to clutch out this round once again in a 1-on-2, but with a lot of time being wasted. Cloud9, however, still armed with a kit, but they don't know where he is as of yet, and he's going to sneak his way out here, looks for that kill into Sean, wants to find the second one, picks up the headshot on the diffuser, and he just finishes it up with class. 2 headshots in a row, and what a play from Follow Esports to start off this second half.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see a lot of similar things out of Follow Esports in this half, is basically just let Desi go to one side of the map, see what he can find for us, probably dueling over to that B platform a lot, but like Cloud9, those are some nice shots from Desi. I mean, you don't see Glocks out-duel USPs at that kind of a range too often, and Desi gets 2 and just kind of really spreads that defense thin. So if it's not for Freakazoid's heroics over by the APC, Cloud9's not even in that round to begin with.
Hades is going to sneak his way up to drop once again and look to see if he can get some aggression, but there's nothing with a quick headshot to take him out. Now nothing's actually going to press forward, try to box in some of these players. Els will duel him, but he actually does hold himself back a little more here. A couple nades come out, but again, not really any damage connecting onto some of these guys, so Cloud9 are going to be able to hold their own for the time being. As for Follow Esports, they take a step back once again and take their time. Els tries to return some damage over there, back over onto nothing, but now he's armed with a Galil at this point, so they're actually going to get some damage. And Shroud heading up there with the dualies, so we're going to see what kind of work he can do. as he positions himself, and again, keep in mind that nothing's been dropped, so it's much better to place in there. Looking for the headshots on Adesi, not going to find him as of yet, and since he can't pick anything up, he does end up falling back there just to give them a little bit more room to work and drop.
Yeah, Nothing's now going to rotate back towards the B-bomb site, playing at the statue, because he's got to watch drop. All of Follow Esports is coming over here. Cloud9 doesn't have a read on it yet. They haven't seen that kind of intel. One's going to lurk down drop. That's going to be Desi. He's just waiting for it. He hears those dualies going. That might be his decision to drop, and it's not. He's going to fall all the way back, reposition himself to join up with them. Freakazoid keeping him occupied from the chicken coop, but no one's committed, and there's a nice headshot from Freak, and they haven't even dealt with Nothing yet. He's spraying through the smoke with that Galil, trying to get the planter, but Freak with another one. They do equalize things a little bit, but there's a lot of work left to do here for Follow Esports.
And they are going to pick up an additional kill into Nothing. They get him on the flank as he moves over towards the drop door, but also Skadoodle's trying to sneak his way in here only with a USP, though, so that's going to be a hard duel to win, and Els indeed will shut it down quickly, picks up the final kill as well into Sean Garris, and although it's a close one there at the beginning, Follow Esports do end up coming out on top, and once again pick up a second round.
Yeah, the damage is done. 3 kills, though. That's really nice from Cloud9. Follow Esports has got to be breathing a sigh of release. That was looking very, very scary when those kills from Freak came in over by the chicken coop. He's having himself a really, really good match. He's at 22-10. Shroud's at 22-12. The rest of the members of Cloud9 relatively quiet because they don't have to be loud quite yet. They don't have to make a huge impact with their teammates playing like this. But Follow Esports now, with that pistol in that second round, they can stabilize just a little bit, and they're going to get up towards 7.
This won't be too big of a buy-up from Cloud9, of course. Pretty much nothing at all when you take a look at it there. Really brought into this round as they've been at most P250s, but Sean Garrett, at the very least, will be able to find 1 kill. Look at it combo that into a second as Nothing comes out for the assist. They almost take down Desi's. They bring him down to 22 HP, but unfortunately for Sean, he gets a little bit over-aggressive there, and they're going to trade him out. Hades also finding another kill in his Shroud as he tries to push into the B approach. They're going to find him there. And just like that, all the defense from Cloud9 is basically gone, and Follow Esports can essentially just walk into this site. Hades even lining himself up for another nice shot to take down Nothing. So there you have it. The 7th point will go into the board from Follow Esports. A lot cleaner this time than compared to the previous round. Still taking some damage, and Skadoodle's going to look for that headshot there over on the Hades. But again, he just follows through. Picks up 3 kills with that Tech 9 this round, and I believe all of them are headshots, so a good round from him. And now they're going to sit at 7-11, and as we'll be at a big turning point here in the first gun round, we have to see if Cloud9 can respond appropriately here with them getting the big guns into their hands for the first time.
Yeah, this is going to be the scary part. Shroud picks up the P90, but Skadoodle with that op, he basically won most of the duels that he got in that first half, so if he can keep that kind of a pace up, he's only got 10 kills, but getting the important frags at times during these rounds. Wabbit, they're gonna run into each other. Wabbit's already got the angle. Skadoodle's got to be careful. If he peeks this angle, and he's not, wisely he stops short, not peeking all the way into the courtyard, just hanging back with the angle. But Shroud gets boosted up with the P90, and he spots one. Doesn't fall off quite yet, and there it is. He grabs that kill. Hades takes the fight. He falls. Barely does any damage whatsoever, so a good advantage for Cloud9 going forward.
Follow Esports going to try to sneak their way inside of the mid-connector for the time being here, but Skadoodle and Freakazoid are in 4 positions. None of them in the steps. They won't be able to catch any of that, but they should have been able to hear. This is Skadoodle at the very least. He should have been able to hear this Molly, so they may know there's a presence in Desi's being loud as hell, so they're going to hear him coming from a mile away. Freak even spots him, gets some damage in, but he pops out and finds the trade, so he's going to take down Freak, picks up the headshot to take him down, and Skadoodle is kind of trapped here now, back over at the wrap point, so he's going to have to be very careful as Desi works his way out. Desi also hasn't checked this just as of yet, so he's got to be a little bit cautious himself, but as Freak wraps around, just missing an opportunity to take him down. And the rest of the team slowly pushing forward, but Skadoodle grabs him right in the groin there, takes him down. And that's going to drop at least 1 player. They'll look for the response, but Skadoodle knows he was kind of trapped in that situation, so it wouldn't be too wise to stick around. He's going to fall back and look to regroup with the rest of his team, but he doesn't even realize, too, I don't even know if he caught the second player in that area, as the rest of his take is going to start, and he's going to try to rotate over there. Wabbit and Nothing are going to trade out some blows, but Shroud comes in for the correction. Now they've emptied it out, but Ocean's going to walk onto this side and get the plant, and he's going to have to try and clutch this out in a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, not too likely as well. This is really their only play. 30 seconds left, and they hadn't made any progress. Their only option was to throw this fake and hope that Ocean can come up with some kind of magical play. Cloud9, though, they don't have any kits, so they're going to be forced to come out of here pretty quickly. They're going to run through a Molotov to do it in Ocean. This is some nice movement. He's put himself behind him, but the bomb's not planted for him whatsoever, so he's got to make a move now, and now they know exactly where he is at the APC. Trying to circle around, gets that first kill. Shroud close up. He's going to end it with the P90. That got a little bit scary, but I think Ocean had an opportunity to win that one if he could have just taken out Shroud, because without those kits, that was going to be a long defuse.
Even if he walked up towards balcony, to be honest, that probably would have been a much better option, because that's exactly where Cloud9 walked out from, and he probably would have had an open shot on the first 2 there, so he could have got 2 of them right from the get-go, and the diffuser would have had to stop or hold it, and obviously with a 10-second defuse, as you already mentioned, that would have made it a lot harder, so almost with a good play there, as Cloud9 just sort of haphazardly walked their way into that site with no trouble in the world, but Unfortunately, it doesn't pan out for Ocean very well. He's going to miss that opportunity to clutch it out 1 versus 3, and Cloud9 now strike back on the gun round. The money from Follow Esports, because of that third round play, though, allows them to buy up here once again with the AK, so they're going to get another chance at it, but if they drop this one, they'll be right back on the pistols, and Cloud9 will reinforce their lead once again.
Shroud just used both his flashbangs trying to spot out anyone coming up towards drop, so he's out of utility, and it actually looks like it's going to be a heavy drop play for Follow Esports. They're pop flashing in, 3 are going to stream down. Shroud's going to have to do some work with his P90, but he turns around. Now they jump through the smoke. Wabbit's going to win that battle. Second player comes in. That's nothing. He grabs 1 kill, changes for the AK, but can't get shots off in time. Elsa wins that. There's Skadoodle responding with the AWP from the chicken coop. 2 more now streaming out onto the platform. A jumping shot onto Ocean. And now he has the angle, and he gets another one. Desi falls, and Hades, even though he cleans it up, he's not too long for this world after. So another salvage of the AWP from Sean Gares, and Cloud9 holds on again.
The other big problem with that, too, is even if we did see Follow Esports, no pun intended, follow through with that push and actually get their way into the site, Freakazoid would have had a huge flank lined up for himself there, so he probably would have been able to close it out again anyway. So that could be a problem in the future that Follow Esports may have to watch out for, with them not keeping an eye out for things like that, and especially when they're getting down to clutch situations, that could really screw them over. They're leaving a lot of angles open for these direct pushes, and that could become problematic once again, because Cloud9 is definitely going to utilize that if they get an opportunity. But as we go into it, of course, this is going to be an eco round from Follow Esports. Freak pushes through outside of Long A, already picks up a kill onto Hades. That's immediately going to stunt the positioning here from Follow Esports. It looked like they were going to try to make a 3-man push towards there, but now I highly doubt they're going to go through with it, and if they do, it'll be very, very slow, because Freakazoid is still here and will still be contesting them, and obviously that's going to be a very hard battle to win with him having armor and them having essentially none on their roster right now.
Yeah, Freakazoid's all alone, though, and he's going against a Deagle, but that Deagle just falls away after taking 1 shot, so a little bit scared for it. Sean's watching the double doors, and that seems to be where the next amount of pressure is going to come in. But actually, as they posture for it, they just fall all the way back now, heading over towards drop. That's where Desi, with this Tech Knight, has found some space to work with. He jumps out. He's going to try and chase down Nothing. They're playing around this pillar, but Nothing's going to win that battle, and now it's going to be a B hit. All 3 remaining members of Follow Esports are streaming out. They're going to walk right into the scope with Skadoodle.
Shroud will be waiting here for this one, too, as the push ends up coming out. Flash will come out, and there's Skadoodle already waiting for them, and Shroud just rolls right in. They actually picks up 1 as Skadoodle finds the second. Still, it's a swift cleanup from Cloud9. Unfortunately, Follow Esports losing that player from the beginning, not really having a whole lot of angles to push, and obviously the very minimal utility in that round didn't really allow them to do too much. Cloud9 was very secure, and we weren't really expecting them to do too much. So Cloud9 are going to get the 14 points. Follow Esports will buy up again. It'll be looking good, but obviously this is pretty much going to be their last chance. If Cloud9 come out on top of the gun round once again, and if Follow Esports can't get their way into a site, then this is basically going to be the end of it, and Cloud9 should be able to easily clean up their 15th round.
Yeah, no AWP as well on the board for Follow Esports. All of them heading over towards this B bomb site. Hades heading up towards drop. He gets flashback. He's got to be a little bit careful. They've taken this fight quite frequently, and they haven't won it outright too much. But there's an opportunity here. Only 2 defenders over at this B site. A 3-man stack in the A hall is Cloud9 trying to get a read that not being successful over towards B means Follow Esports is going to switch things up, but that's not the case, and Nothing's going to get eliminated. He doesn't even get a response whatsoever. Deals a little bit of damage. Now a lot of work is going to be on Sean. He's getting flanked from behind, and he's out. So it's a free B bomb site. This might as well just be a save out of Cloud9 now.
Such a big risk taken from those positions as they are going to save, but such a big risk being taken by those just 2 players in the site too. If it ended up being the strat we saw, that was going to be a very, very hard thing to hold right from the get-go there, as Nothing and Sean Garris both very wide out in the open. Nothing specifically with a very ballsy push. He goes right up to Broken Wall there with him knowing his teammates are so far away. That was a bit of an unfortunate choice, as you said here. It just allows Follow Esports to waltz right into the site. They get control far too quickly, and Cloud9 can't do anything to resist it, so they're forced to sit back and save.
Yeah, but not too much of an issue because, I mean, that save call, they don't even get close to this bomb site, and there's no economy on the Follow Esports side to chase these kills down. It's really nice that they're surviving with all 5 members, though. That's going to help build things up. And Cloud9's going to be able to buy again, so try to get a little bit of read, try to get a jump on the play that Follow Esports was going to make, and it's just the wrong call, the wrong gamble. So Cloud9 out of that round, but moving forward, they're still going to be fine. They're going to be able to drop as many weapons over as they need to Nothing and Sean.
And with those being picked up here, Follow Esports can build themselves up a little bit more here too. Now having a full utility buy-up behind these AKs this time around should make things a little bit easier, or at least a little bit more methodical to work their way into a site instead of just having to rely on straight-up entries as they've had to in some of these past rounds. But again, still a very, very close game at this point, or a very, very badly close game, I should mention, for Follow Esports, as they're still sitting very far behind, and Cloud9 are just on the edge of winning things out, so they're going to go super aggressive, already inside of midcon, trying to work their way out to the ramp, and it's going to be Sean that resisted. He puts that molly on the floor. Freak also catching a kill off by Long, and Sean holds it, but gets traded out by Desi. So a 2-for-1 trade for Cloud9 to open it up. Shroud takes a long-range battle with the MP9 too. Gets some damage, and he spots these players moving up, but now it's completely flashed. So he's going to rely on Freakazoid. He's falling back a bit, trying to pick up those kills. He's going to line up two of them. Skadoodle kills one, and nothing picks up the final one as well. Cloud9 just very quickly rotates into that, and the good utility that comes up for them holds Follow Esports back far enough there for them to rotate in to counter that out.
Shroud barely does any damage that round with the MP9, but when he comes out swinging with that and he's still moving and just spraying bullets down on the ramp, Follow Esports, the three remaining members just stop to take that fight, and they can't hit him. So that buys just a couple of crucial seconds. Skadoodle comes over with the AWP, the last remaining B defender comes over and rotates in, and then they just clean everything up from there. So he just buys time for his team, and then they systematically spray everyone down off the map. So 15-8 now. Follow Esports, this is... I mean, they do have a pretty decent buy. 5 AK-47s. They have all the smokes they need. They're a little bit light on flashbangs, but spread out right now. They've got to find some picks somehow here.
Desi's going to look for that early aggression from nothing once again by Broken Wall. Won't be finding it as of yet, as he's pretty restrained at this point here, but the rest of the team still making their way forward a little bit here too. Very, very resistant to a drop push that could potentially come out here from Follow Esports. They are tempering it a little bit, and no one's actually gone for it just as of yet, but Freakazoid again playing out there towards Long A. He's going to find that opening frag over onto Ocean. Now, was quick with the response, though, as they've basically gotten used to this strat at this point, so that's going to pull an additional player over here towards the A site, just in case the push comes through there. And another thing is Freakazoid should have been able to spot this bomb as well, so if they know that's on the ground here, you can see the defensive position being taken up here now by Follow Esports from these two players, just in case they want to try to move out and secure that bomb early. But as this fake push comes into the B site, they're pretty much ready for it. Skadoodle and Shroud shut down with 2 kills. And these final 2 from Follow Esports, I don't know what they're going to plan to do at this point, but unfortunately it's not going to be much. I don't know why they held back for so long. I mean, there was obviously security and making sure they didn't get pushed, but still, now they waited far too long, and it's going to be, should be pretty obvious that it's going to get pushed into that A site as soon as Sean Garris even sees a wink.
He might not, I mean, there's no reason for Sean to even need to peek. He's got nothing over here now. He's playing in the back of the bomb site. Just hide back here and wait out this timer, because once they get into the site, they're not going to have too long before they can get the plant. Nothing might not even let him get there. He takes out Elsa, and this might prompt Sean to come out of his hiding spot, take the battle, and he is. He's going to find the head of Wabbit trying to get around APC, so that's going to be a quick victory for Cloud9. And they just close the noose. A good first half gives them a really easy job to do in the second.
Yeah, we saw some good things being built up there by the players that Follow Esports in the second half, but the many issues that surfaced there in the first half, obviously a lot of the rounds we talked about at halftime relying on just the ability to straight out clutch. Wabbit there having a pretty good performance for himself. Desi to some degree too, but overall just a lot of team dynamics once again coming into play and becoming the problem there. Still allows a top team like Cloud9 to, for a majority of their T-side half, just plow over the defense over here on Cbble.
Yeah, the big thing too, Freakazoid had one hell of a match. There. He top fragged for his team, I believe. Shroud wasn't too far behind. I mean, Shroud's been playing brilliantly lately for Cloud9, but it was Freakazoid who had 26 kills. Actually, excuse me, Shroud got up to 27 there right at the end, so he catches up. But look at the headshot percentage on Freakazoid, .328. You don't often see that out of, you know, the designated entry fragger at least, but I think everyone did a great job entering for Cloud9, so that kind of a role specific statistic doesn't really matter too much. But either way, really nice job from Cloud9. And then they're going to be in a double header. So I know the update was out, and I believe we're going to have those servers up and ready. Not quite sure, but we'll let you guys know when we come back.
All right, guys. So the next match coming up here on the stream is going to be the big one. Team Liquid versus Cloud9, the rematch from just about a week ago. So stick around for it. We'll be back in just a few minutes with more of the ESL ESEA Pro League right here on Twitch.